All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Once again, this is Priest Zion back with another edition of GMS News and Prophecy. And I have an article here from Haaretz.com. All right, and as you can see, the headline reads, if the U.S. goes to war with Iran, Netanyahu would be the prime suspect. Okay. Now, we all know, according to Bible prophecy, the United States is known as Babylon the Great. Okay. And Netanyahu, all right, for those that don't know, Netanyahu is the leader, okay, I believe that the prime minister of the state of Israel. Okay, or the president of the state of Israel. Okay, and the U.S. and the state of Israel have a long history of being allies. Okay, now this whole rumors of war and threats of war that have been going on between the United States and Iran is basically it's being fueled by these so-called Jews, all right, these Israelis over there in the state of Israel. Okay, and this is all Bible prophecy. Okay, so the headline or the sub headline, all right, reads, it says he convinced Trump that Tehran will capitulate to crippling sanctions and a credible military threat, but the Ayatollahs disagree. Okay. So it says Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is the only world leader to openly express support for the escalating U.S. campaign against Iran. Okay, but his statement is an exception to the general Israeli rule. In the 2 weeks that have passed since the U.S. announced it was reinforcing its military presence in the Persian Gulf, official Israel has mostly taken on a vow of silence. Luckily, we are not involved, naively optimistic defense official brief reporters. It says the attempt to distance itself from an American military operation in the Middle East as if Israel was merely a fan sitting in the bleachers cheering its favorite team inevitably sparks analogies to Yitzhak Shamir's policy of restraint in the 1991 Gulf War and Ariel Sharon's similar attitude during the 2003 war in Iraq. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm just going to read a little bit more. Now it says Shamir's task was rendered far more difficult because Israel was directly attacked by Saddam Hussein's Scud missiles, but was infinitely easier as well because no one in his right mind could blame Israel for Saddam's 1990 invasion of Kuwait. And while Israel did not come under direct attack in the 2003 Iraq War, it was nonetheless compelled to defend itself against claims which proliferated as the war progressed that it had pushed President George W. Bush to decide on the attack in the first place. And that's what I wanted to get to. Okay, because these so-called Jews, all right, over there in the state of Israel today, they are the ruling class of people, race of people, okay, in the world today. I mean, everybody should know that these so-called Jewish people are behind the central banks, okay, and you know, are basically behind the scenes pulling the strings, such as the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. All right, they're all so-called Jews, which according to the Bible, the Edomites, which go back to the grandson of Esau or Edom, which is Amalek. Okay, and it's these Amalekites, which are of the stock of Edom, or of the flock of Edom, or these Edomites that are going to draw the U.S. in the war. And that's exactly what I just read. Okay, although they didn't have any direct attack in the or wasn't under direct attack in the Iraq War, going back to 2003, they were still behind pulling the strings to get Baby Bush, okay, to basically go to war with Iraq. And the same thing is going to happen with Iran, okay? The same thing is going to happen with Iran, and I'm going to get the Bible prophecy on that, okay? All right? Because these so-called Jews are, like I said, they're the ruling class of Edomites, which are truly running and over the U.S. government, all right, through the Illuminati or the elites or the international bankers, whatever you want to call them. They're the ruling class of people behind the government or this corporation of the United States, okay? All right, and they want to go to war with Iran, so they use the United States as their military power to back up their political aims. Now, which is the same reason why Trump, over a year ago, he declared Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, the state of Israel. And the whole world and all these other nations were basically coming at Trump and the U.S. about that. But I'm going to read the scriptures, okay? And these are key prophecies to understanding what's going to happen during World War III, all right? So let me get it. Now this is Jeremiah 49:20. It says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh, all right, that he had taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. All these are Edomites. All these are you so-called white people over there in Europe and over here in America and over there in the land of Israel, but also the Edomites that are scattered around the world, but mainly over here in the West. It says, surely the least of the flock, okay, the least of you eagles, okay, the least of you flock of birds, which Esau is also known as the eagle when you go into the book of Obadiah, the least of the people of Edom shall draw them out. So these Edomites are going to be drawn in the war, but it's going to be the least of them that's going to draw them out in the war. And the least of the Edomites is Amalek. Okay? Let me get a precept. Numbers 24. I believe it's the 19th verse. Let's see. The 20th verse. It says, and when he looked on Amalek, all right, Numbers 24:20, and when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. And when you look up Amalek, all right, I'm going to look up the word Amalek. He's going to be shown to be the grandson of Esau. Okay, Amalek, right? Which dweller in a valley, which in the Hebrew is Imalak. Okay, Imalak, which it says the son of Eliphaz by his concubine Timnah, grandson of Esau, and progenitor of a tribe of people in southern Canaan, descendants of Amalek. So these are the so-called Jews. Okay, these are the so-called Jews today, which go back to this guy here, Benjamin Netanyahu. All right, they're all white people. Okay, the world likes to differentiate between, the whites in Europe and the whites in America or Australia or South Africa or Russia as being different from the whites in the state of Israel, and they're not. Okay, they're all of y'all are a bunch of Edomites. All of y'all are so-called white people. All of y'all are going to go into slavery. And like the scripture says, your latter end shall be that you perish forever. But before that happens, World War III has to take place. Okay? All right? First, World War III has to take place. And you, through Bible prophecy, okay, have to draw out all right? You have to draw out the other nations into World War III, but you have to draw out America, okay? America has to be drawn out into this fight, in this battle with Iran, okay? Yep. Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. So this is of Teman, all right. But this is the will of our power, the power and the God of the so-called blasphemers and Native Americans, whose true name is not God but Yahweh, and his son Yahushua, who the word ignorantly calls, who the word stupidly calls Jesus Christ. Okay, our power says that you Edomites, okay, are going to be drawn into this war, and it's going to be these so-called Jews that get you into it, whether, starting with America, and then, of course, the EU, Europe, and then Russia, all right, and that's when you're going to be ultimately destroyed, all right? So it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them, okay? Because we all know, those of us that are in the know, all right, in this truth of ours, we know that America is going to be destroyed. Well, the land of Israel is going to be destroyed as well, but it's going to be brought back, all right? It's known in Ezekiel 38 as the land that was brought back from the sword. Because once World War III takes place and these nuclear missiles destroy America and the land of Israel that belongs to us, all right, the true Israelites, all right, is going to be built back up, but America is going to remain a desert, all right? So now what we're seeing in the news is we're seeing the prophecy of the least of the flock drawing America into war with Iran, okay? I'm just going to lead these nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat over there in the Middle East, all right, which is in the Arabian desert between the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea, and that's going to be the end of the rulership of you white people in the earth, all right? So let me get back to some of this article. Now it says here, in the lead up to that ill-fated war, all right, which is the war in Iraq in 2003, Netanyahu was once again one of a handful of prominent Israelis who preferred to break the silence. In public testimony before the Government Reform Committee of the House of Representatives in 2002, Netanyahu assured American lawmakers, remember, the prophecy says that the least of the flock shall draw them out, okay? All these are the stages and steps to what we're seeing now, okay? It says Netanyahu assured American lawmakers that Saddam either had nuclear weapons or was on the verge of acquiring them with the help of hidden centrifuges no bigger than washing machines. Deposing Saddam, Netanyahu promised, would do wonders for the Middle East as a whole. And that's because these Edomites, they want to fulfill their satanic war order, okay? And they want to use America as the military force behind, getting control of, the oil and the resources and the people over there in the Middle East. The same thing that they did over here in the West to the Israelites, so-called black Spaniards and Native Americans, and the rest of the nations, man. Okay? So it was really these so-called Jews that were behind America going into Iraq. All right? So let's hear. It says, even though he was a private citizen then, Netanyahu's testimony provided critics with supposedly incontrovertible proof of Israel's involvement in pushing Bush to war. This is the same thing that's getting ready to happen now, man. Okay? I'm going to read the prophecy again. Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord. This is why you have to believe in the scriptures and believe in Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. All right? Those of us Israelites in the faith. Okay? Because it's his counsel. That's everything you're seeing going on in the news today. It's his counsel. It's his will. He said it. He spoke about it. It's written in the scriptures. And we prophets here at Great Millstone, we're bringing the truth out and making it known. Okay? The Lord said that his word shall be made known unto you. All right. So it says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord, that he had taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. It was these Israelis, Netanyahu, that's been pushing America to go to war, okay, for at least the past, 15 years now, okay? It says, surely he will make their habitations desolate with them. It says, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall, at the cry the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Because that's going to be the region over there in the Middle East by the Red Sea, the Persian Gulf, where World War III is going to take place. Okay? All right, I hope and pray that the Spirit of Yahweh is allowing the Akim and Aqua to see what is transpiring here. Okay? It says, behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle, and spread his wings over Basra, and at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pains. Yeah, because Yahweh and the angels are going to destroy these nations over there in the Middle East, once it takes place. Okay? Bible prophecy is happening, man. All right? So back here it says, even though he was a private citizen then, Netanyahu's testimony provided critics with supposedly incontrovertible proof of Israel's involvement in pushing Bush to war. Netanyahu's testimony has resurfaced in recent days. Why? Because the truth has to come out so we can prophesy these events. Okay? To ostensibly show Netanyahu's tendency to inflate, exaggerate, make mountains out of molehills, and to view U.S. military might as the ultimate response to threats on Israel, whether they emanate from Baghdad or Tehran. Okay? So this is what's happening, man. Okay, this is what's going on. World War III is taking place, and the reason why America is going to get involved over there with Iran is because Netanyahu, these are Israelis, through the orders and the funding, okay, and the witches and warlocks, or the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and the rest of these Edomite illuministic devils, they're going to cause this war of Armageddon to take place. Okay? Okay? All right. Let's see. So yeah, as you can see, man, it's just, these so-called Jews that are behind, pushing America to war. But this is prophecy. You can't deny what I've been saying here. Matter of fact, let me play this clip if it's not too long. All right.
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever. And there is no question that once he acquires it, history shifts immediately. The dangers.
And that's all I need to play. And you heard it from the man's mouth himself. Okay, he was the one that said that Saddam Hussein had nuclear weapons. So best believe it's going to be Netanyahu and these other Israelis that are going to say, well, these Iranians are developing these nuclear weapons, or they're a major threat to the state of Israel and America, and they're going to go to war. Okay, World War III is going to take place because these Amalekites are going to draw the U.S. into war. And you're going to continue to see it play out on the news. All right? Continue to see it play out in the news, and that's going to be the end of America. All right? Now I got one more prophecy I'm going to read, and this is another precept in the next chapter to that scripture. All right? So this is Jeremiah 15:45. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord. that he had taken against Babylon. Babylon is America. And his purposes that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. These so-called Jews are going to draw the U.S. into war with Iran. And Russia at this time is going to back them up. It says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them, meaning that that land is going to be destroyed. Verse 46, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved. So Babylon, America, is going to be taken. And the cry is heard among the nations. All right? So, hey, man, it's happening. Bible prophecy is happening in a major way. Okay? Understand that. In a major way, World War III in prophecy is happening. All right? So, with that, I'm going to end it there. All praise and glory and honors go to Yahweh Bashmi Shai, Bar Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Until the next time, Shalom.